Hi everybody, so this is going to be an 8x8 Supercube walkthrough tutorial. This is the 8 color Supercube. And first of all, if you haven't seen the 6x6 tutorial I just did, I would recommend going and watching that first because it's really all the same concepts and I'm going to be going through this a little bit faster, so it would actually help to watch this first. But most importantly, if you have not seen my main Supercube tutorial called the sequential group method, you should really go watch that first and understand all the concepts really well, or else this is not going to really make too much sense. So make sure you understand all those concepts in that video before actually watching this one here. So how I'm going to structure this video is just like the 6x6, where I'll start with an entire walkthrough solve, and then I'll go back and do a bunch of last center cases and last edge cases and stuff like that. So having the stickers laid out like this, just like the 6x6, as you probably know now, these are all solved positions. So any way you turn it like this is still technically solved. So we're going to have to make up our own color layout and then keep that the same for the entire solve. And that's pretty much why this makes this a really difficult puzzle. So I'll just scramble this up and then we'll get started. Alright, so there's a complete scramble. And to get started, I think I'll do a red, orange, yellow, white face, similar to what I did on the 6x6, and then we'll go from there. And all the center stuff I'm going to do relatively quickly just because you should really understand basic center construction at this point. So I'm not going to explain that in too much detail. You should just be able to follow along the general concept of how we're going to organize the centers here. So let's see where I want to start. Let's do a red and orange bar. So we have red on the top and orange on the bottom. I'm going to focus on this middle column here. Look for the other red up here. And if you don't need these center walkthroughs, just skip ahead to the last center stuff because that's really the bulk of this tutorial anyway. I'm just including this just to be thorough. Okay, so there's our first red and orange, and then we'll just continue that across. Our last orange down there. Okay, and then the last red and orange on the edge. Just like that. So that's our first half. Now we'll do a white and yellow. I see two yellows here, so let's start building off that. Add a white. And another white. That wasn't quite it. Oh, here it is. So we can bring that white yellow up and then continue that across. Now we need these three to be yellow down here. Just like that, and then the final white yellow on the edge. And white being on top. almost to pop there, and there's our first center done. Okay, so now we're just going to do the opposite center with the 4 colors that are not these ones. So it's going to be purple, blue, or purple, dark blue, light blue, and green. So let's just see what we have built. There's a good amount of dark blue there. Let's pair that with a light blue on top. Although it doesn't really matter, we're just establishing how the color layout is going to be for the rest of the solve. So we bring that up, and now always returning centers to keep that. So I see another chunk of dark blue. Let's try to bring that down. That'll be on the bottom. And pair that with some light blue on the top. And a light blue center. Hopefully that's in frame, yep. And now we'll continue light blue and dark blue on the edge here. Okay, now we need a purple and green. Good amount of purple there. Okay, so we can't just bring it up, but we need to bring down the empty place, fill it, and then return. So that establishes the layout now. Continue the purple and green across. I see these are actually correct, so we can bring that down. Continue this purple up there. Now green. We need a, I would consider this piece a clockwise inner wing because it goes this way, that blue piece there. So that needs to be green, a clockwise green, just like that. Doesn't really matter how you refer to these pieces. Okay, and our final middle one. Okay, so there's our second center, which is opposite of the first. Now, same as the 6x6, we're going to put them on the sides this way. Now we're going to pair 2 of these together to link them and then establish the color layout for the rest of the puzzle. I think maybe I did a light blue, white. It doesn't really matter, it's whatever you want, but let's work with that. So I'll pair them this way, which means this will be a 3 white across and then 3 light blue across to link these 2 together. So let's start with that. We need light blue on the opposite side. Just realign this. So now we have white going across and light blue. Now this establishes all the rest of the centers basically. So we're just going to keep wrapping around this way and filling it all in as we go down. So we'll get another white and light blue in the second row, so we can use that piece. And then light blue across. So now we have the first 2, or work our way down. These 2 are also correct, we can just use that. And we need 2 whites here. Just like that. So now when we realign this, we can see that we have white is done and light blue. So now we just move our way down. This means this has to be yellow on this quarter here, and this has to be green. So yellow and green. But if we turn it this way, it'll be yellow and green. It's just easier to see on the top. So here's some yellow. Let's work off that. And green. Always returning centers now because we have this. Bring that up. So you can see how if we realign the centers, we have white, blue, light blue, green, and yellow. So that's correct, and we can just fill that in now. Okay. Working on this second row here, we need a yellow. And one last green. And then the final inner green and yellow. Okay, realign the centers. So that is our third center. Okay, so after the third center, we just move on down this way. We need another yellow and green. So yellow, green on top. Working on this top row here. And our final green piece, which is, where is it? It's here, so we need to separate that. Okay, you can see how that's correct. And then just work our way down. Another yellow, green on the second layer. Here's some yellows already started. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Let's get a center yellow. Oops, that was the wrong color. Okay, we're going to put that in place and then return our centers. Now the last yellow-green in the middle. Just all basic center strategy stuff here. Okay, yellow-green is done. Now we just move our way down, making sure these are lined up properly. This tells us this has to be purple because of that, and this has to be red because of that. So red, purple, or red, purple. Like to keep it on the top there. We have a good chunk of red here. So bring down the empty slot, fill the slot, and return it. So you can see how the red continues on and the purple is correct. So We can use that as our reference, move our way down. Second row, red, purple. Let's see, where is that piece? Oh, it's up here, so we'll separate that out. I don't really expect you to follow every single move. I know it's kind of fast, just the general outline of this, because this is actually the easy part of this solve here. Okay, now the final red, purple middle row here. Both in at once. Okay, and that's the next center. So let's check our work. That all lines up. Just like that. And we are down to our last two centers. Same as before on the 6x6. The fifth center is pretty easy. It's just all commutators, basically. And then the last center is when we get to kind of the method of this solve. So, anyway, let's start with some red, maybe up here in the left, and it's just all commutators. You should be able to follow this decently quickly. I won't be explaining every single move, though, in detail. So let's bring that red piece up. And actually, for later on, I'm going to be kind of describing which layers I'm turning. I'll just say layer 1, 2, or 3. 1 being the outside layer, 2 being the next layer here, and then 3 being the middle layer. And the opposite side, this will be 1, 2, and 3. I know this is obvious stuff, but that's kind of just how I'm going to refer to it. So for this piece, to do a 3 cycle to bring it up, it'll be using layers 2 on this side and 1 on this side. But that's basic center strategy stuff, and you should pretty much have a firm grasp on that sort of thing already. And we'll just continue getting all the reds up there. Oops. Okay, we can actually just bring a lot of those reds down to free them. And last red. Okay, now we can move on to the purple. Just going to go here to match these two. Same sort of thing. And we need to free some of these purples. We can just bring the whole block down like that in the corner. And now this purple, which will be row 3 and 1. Okay, so now the red and purple is done. Hopefully that wasn't too quick, but shouldn't be. So now there's going to be orange here and dark blue here. So orange, dark blue. Okay, same sort of thing. Just a million commutators in a row. Probably more efficient ways to do this, but this is the easiest to show you for now. I'll try to keep this more centered. Almost to pop. And the middle orange. Okay, let's check the centers, make sure it's still good. Orange is done. Now we need dark blue, the final one. Let's try that again. Blue corner. Ooh, that was close. Okay, that's a fifth center. So red is good, purple, dark blue, and orange. So now this brings us to the last center. So this is the hard part. Really, it's the same exact strategy as the 6x6. It's just now we have another layer, and it's just more complicated to actually get all the recognition for which 3-cycle and which shuffle you have to use. But same sort of thing. We're going to start with the center and just work our way out. Because by the time we get this middle 4x4 solved, the rest of it will be much, much easier to visualize what is in and what is out. So anyway, let's look at this middle 4. This white is in, the blue is out, the orange is out, and the light blue is in. So these two that are in, we're going to hold on the left. These two that are out, we're going to hold on the right, and we're going to do a right-handed shuffle. Okay, let's realign the center. So white is in, orange is in, dark blue is in, light blue is in. So this middle 2x2 is now solved and will be our reference for the rest of the center. So now, same thing on the 6x6. Basically, without this outer layer, it just is a 6x6 center. So now we'll do the same sort of thing, do these corners. So we have out, 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 out. They're all out, so let's see where they have to go. This dark blue needs to go down there. So we can do a shuffle this way, a left-handed shuffle to bring that dark blue over to this position, like this. Now let's check to see what that did. The corners are now out, 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 out. Okay, for some reason that didn't work. Oh, I think I just put that in the wrong place, but that's okay. That's what happens with this. You're going to make quite a lot of mistakes, especially when you're looking at the viewfinder and not the puzzle. Let's try that again. Okay, this white needs to go over here to be solved. So same sort of thing. Let's actually try this for real. This white goes over there. It'll be a left-handed shuffle to line that up, just like that. Okay, there we go. So let's just realign with the centers to make sure we're still good. White, orange, dark blue, light blue. The white, now these, looking at these inner corners here. White is in, out, out. So we have a 2 in, 2 out. We're going to kick out either this orange or this light blue to a similar face. So let's see how we want to do that. We're going to focus on this orange inner corner here, and we're going to kick it out to this side here to bring that piece down. And this is all stuff from the 6x6 tutorial that you should really have a strong understanding of at this point before watching this one. So let's kick out that orange. In just a 1 3-cycle, not a double shuffle move kind of thing, just a single 3-cycle. And this is now using this layer and this layer, which you should be able to tell just by seeing what piece that we're working with here. Okay, just like that. Now let's check those inner corners. In, out, out, out. So 1 in, 3 out is our standard case that we want. We see our solved white here look all the way across the group to orange, which has to roll this way to match up with this orange center. That piece goes here. It's going to be a left-handed shuffle to solve those inner corners. F prime. Okay, so in. Can you see that kind of X shape there, the 4x4? So that's now solved. Now, you could do a couple different things. You could move on to the outer corners, or you could continue this inner 4x4, which I think I'll do that first, like I originally said. I'm going to continue finishing the 6x6 center in the middle, which will make it just easier to recognize the cases for the outer border here, for the 8x8 center. So, having said that, let's look again at the clockwise inner wings here. I guess I'll call them inner wings and outer wings, although there's multiple once we get out there. But anyway, this orange is out, clockwise out, 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 out. So they're all out, but this orange can roll over here to this position. So it's going to be a left-handed shuffle using this layer and this layer. So layer 2 and 3. 2 on this side, 3 on this side. Left-handed shuffle. Okay, let's check the clockwise wings. We have, based on the center, out, in, out, in. Okay, so we need to, 2 in, 2 out, we need to kick out one of these pieces to a similar face. So let me just make sure that's what's going on. Yep. You can see how this white and blue need to be switched over, basically. So we're going to kick out this white for a different white. So prepare this center, and then let's kick that up to bring down a different white. Just 1 3-cycle. That maintains that. And now let's check to see what case we have. With the clockwise, we have out, in, out, out. So that blue one is our target in piece. 1 in, 3 out. Look across the blue to the white. This white piece needs to roll over this way to match up with that white center. So that's a left-handed shuffle, using layers 2 on this side and 3 on this side. F prime, same thing again. And let's check clockwise, in. Okay, so that worked. Now we'll do counterclockwise to finish up this inner 4x4. So I see actually we have some in here. So counterclockwise, we have this orange is in, out, out. So again, the same sort of thing, 2 in, 2 out. We're going to pick one of the pieces that are out here and kick it out, replace it with a similar one. So let's get rid of this blue here. And it's already set up to match up with this blue here. So let's go ahead and do that. 1 3-cycle. Maintains that face there. Now let's check the counterclockwise again. We have in. So actually no, we don't. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong ones. Counterclockwise, we have out. That blue piece is out, 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 in, out. So this white is going to be our target, counterclockwise. Look across the group to this blue, right there. This blue needs to roll down to... Actually, you know what? I'm sorry, that's not correct. So, yeah, this is why this stuff is so hard to visualize. Based on this inner center, the white is correct and the blue is correct. And it looks like... Let's see, let me check my work again. Let's go back to clockwise. This is in. This is in. This is in. This is in. So clockwise is good. Counterclockwise, this is out. This is out. This is out. This is, oh, out. Okay, I guess they're all out still. So that's okay. Let's do a shuffle where we move this blue over to here. We're going to move this dark blue to this light blue position right there. Let's try that. Shuffle move. Okay, now let's check counterclockwise again. We have out, out, in. Okay, so let me just look at this really quick. So we need basically this light blue and this white are switched over. So we need to kick out one of these pieces to an adjacent side, targeting that light blue and that white. Let's kick out this white up here, just a single 3 cycle. And that did it. So made a little mistake there, but that's that happens quite often with this. Just the recognition is so difficult to actually see what's going on. So anyway, that solved our middle 4x4. So you can see now how it's going to be a lot easier to visualize this outer border. And I think what I'll do now is similar to what we did on the 6x6 section with these corners. I'll go ahead and do these outermost corners now, because that'll be pretty easy to see. And then do the wings. The wings are always the hardest pieces to recognize. So I see this white is actually in. Looking at these corners, it's in, out, So again, 2 in, 2 out. We're going to kick out one of the bad pieces. Let's kick out that light blue to an adjacent light blue. Single 3 cycle on the corners. Okay, that's unaffected. Now let's check our front face here, last face. In, out, out, out. That's what we want. 1 in, 3 out. Find the solid one, look directly across the group. This light blue has to roll down this way. You can just turn the whole thing. So we want that motion. Light blue moving across, it's going to be a right-handed shuffle. Just like this. Whoa. F and do the same thing again. And that should solve it. So yep, we have white is in. So now we can do one of the wing sets, and there's just a lot more pieces now, so the recognition's even more difficult than the 6x6, obviously. So let's, what should we start with? Do I see any that are in? Maybe we'll work from whatever you want to call these pieces, like these two that are right next to the corner, like this dark blue and that orange, or these 2 light blues, or this white and orange, that style of piece. So let's target one of those groups next. There's technically, I guess there's 4 different outer wing types of piece here. So let's see if any of those are in. Doesn't look like any of those are in. So let's just pick one and see where it needs to go. How about this dark blue here? That needs to go all the way down to where this white is. Can you see that motion there? So let's do a shuffle using that motion, which will be a left-handed to kick that white up, just to bring that blue into place. And that'll be using this layer and this layer. Left-handed shuffle. Okay, so that light blue was put into place. We can use that as our kind of placeholder now. I guess you consider this, it depends on how you look at it from the corner or from the edge, whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise. I guess I'll still go from the straight edge, so that would be clockwise that way. It's kind of confusing either way, to be honest, but so that one's in, and just kind of trace it around, in, out. Sorry, let me do that again. That's in, out, in, out. So again, we have 2 in, 2 out. Let's, is that correct? Let me, in, out, in, out. Yeah, 2 in, 2 out. So let's get rid of this orange. Let's kick that orange out. And let's do it this way, so it won't mess up that blue. Let's do a shuffle, actually not a shuffle, just a 3-cycle, a single 3-cycle. We're going to kick this orange piece out to replace that one to bring down. So, up. Okay, now let's check the same sort of pieces. That blue is here that we originally did is in, out, out, out. So yeah, I know this stuff is probably extremely hard to follow, but just hang in there. I'm sure you'll get it after I do some more walkthroughs of more last center cases. So we look across the group from this one. This orange piece here is the opposite in that group. This orange piece needs to move here to where that light blue piece is. So we want to hold that motion on the top. This orange moves that way. It's going to be a right-handed shuffle using that layer, the second layer, and the first layer. Okay, let's see if that worked. So again, dark blue, in, 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 in. Okay, so that's about as tricky as this recognition gets, but we're not done yet. So let's do the opposite mirror image piece next to the corner again, whatever you want to call it, like that orange piece. We'll target that group now. We can consider that from kind of, from the flat plane here. That's a counterclockwise piece, if you want to call it that. So in this group, that's out, 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 out. Let's see, is that correct? Yeah, so they're all out, but this orange piece can roll over to where that light blue is. That motion will be a left-handed shuffle for this. So let's do a left-handed shuffle to get that in place. Okay, so that orange is in place. So we have counterclockwise, this white is out, in, out, in. Okay, so let's kick out that white. I want to replace that. Let's kick out with a single 3-cycle. We'll kick that white up to here. Okay, maintain that center. Now let's check again. We have out, in, out, out. So 1 in, 3 out. That orange target piece, which is here, clockwise, go across the group. That white piece needs to roll over to where this dark blue is. That is going to be a right-handed shuffle. And that did it. So hopefully you can see now how those wings right next to the corner are all solved for all of those groups. Now, let's move on to, let's target these pieces here. So right next to the type of piece, going from the flat face here is counterclockwise. This orange is out. That white is out, out, out. They're all out. Let's move that orange over here. Usually start with a shuffle just to get it in place and then see where we need to go from there. This orange moves over here. It's going to be a shuffle using a right-handed shuffle using this layer and this layer. Okay, so that orange piece clockwise is in, out, 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 which is what we want. Orange is solved, move across the group. White needs to roll down to this position where the dark blue is to be solved. Let's put that on the top. So same sort of thing, it's gonna be a right-handed shuffle, kicking that blue piece out to bring that white piece in. Okay, let's check the work. So clockwise is in, that solved it. So now we just need our last group. And we can see how this bottom half is completely solved. So everything in there is solved. But this blue and this white basically need to be switched. Obviously you can't just switch two pieces, but we're gonna do that by obviously the same thing as before, kicking one of them out. So there's two different ways we can do this, left-handed or right-handed, depending on which piece we want to target and kick out. I'll explain both, but just do one of them. So say we wanted to kick this white piece out, we'd have to position it like this, so that white piece would be kicked out to here, and that blue piece would move into this position, and this white piece would move down to the blue and be solved. That would be the left-handed. Or if we wanted to do a right-handed version, we'd set it up like this, where right-handed up, this blue piece would be kicked out to here. This blue piece would be kicked out to here and be solved. This exact piece would roll down to this blue face and be solved, and this white piece would roll over and be solved. So either way, might as well just do it this way. It's already set up. So this is going to be not a shuffle, but just a single 3 cycle to get this in place. Here, kick that blue piece up. Just like that. So yeah, that is that's a last center on an 8-color 8x8 Supercube. It's pretty difficult stuff, but again, hopefully you can start to see these patterns. How you find a 1 in 3 out, you look across, see which way it has to go over. It's all the same stuff over and over. It's just a lot more groups and a lot more pieces to apply on this sort of puzzle. But anyway, I'll go through the rest of the walkthrough on this, doing edges and final 3x3 solve. And then same as the 6x6, I'll go back and do a bunch of examples in case any of that was a little hard to follow. Okay, so moving on to edges. To start, we're gonna align all the centers. So we'll start with white again as kind of our home base. Definitely go watch the 6x6 tutorial. That's where I kind of explain this in more depth. So anyway, what we're gonna do briefly is do these three edges first, the white edges, and then we're going to do all the edges on the perimeter, which will leave us 3 purple edges to do. And like I said in the 6x6, the most important thing here is to have the last 2 edge cases share a color. So the last 2 edges will be like a purple and green and purple and yellow. You don't want it to be purple, yellow, white, orange, because we're going to need to swap pieces of similar color. But doing it this way will force the last 3 edges to be all purple, or to have a purple in them. So anyway, let's just start this. We'll do it fairly quickly, but let's do the white-orange. And actually I see a bunch of white-orange already here. So let's go ahead and complete that white-orange edge group. And always be really careful, especially when you're splitting down the center, to realign properly on the edges. This is just basic edge pairing stuff. So white, orange, and always go back and see what you have to do next. Let's do the white, yellow. Let's get some yellows into place. Pair that with some white. And our final white piece. Okay, let's realign our white corner there. So we've done yellow, white, and we've done yellow, orange. Now we've done, white, yellow, white, orange. Now we need to do white, light blue. Let's see what we have made. Not too much. There's a light blue chunk. Get that light blue end piece there. Okay, so that's the first 3 edges. Let's realign the white corner. So we've done those 3, even though they're not put in place, but we don't have to worry about placing them right now, just grouping them together. So now let's go around the border clockwise, just to keep track of what we're doing. So let's start with, how about a green and yellow, and then we'll do yellow, red, and then red, orange, orange, blue, so on, just around the border like this. So let's start with green and yellow. I have 2 greens together here. And I have a giant chunk of yellow, so that's nice. Let's just move that in all at once. Carefully realign the centers properly. Now regroup. We just did green and yellow, so clockwise, and always kind of use the same color you left off on. Green, yellow. Now we'll do yellow, red. I see some red there. Group those together. And we need some yellow on top. And the final yellow piece. So that was red, yellow. Regroup the white corner. Yellow, red, and now red, orange will be next. Anything made for us? Good bit of orange here. Let's work with that. Okay, let's get some red. Was that what I was working with? Oh, here, okay. We'll bring another red in. And the final red. Okay, red, orange. Realign our white corner. Going clockwise, we just did red, orange. Now we'll do orange, dark blue. So we have some dark blues here. Orange, dark blue, I think is what I said. Okay, sorry, I'll hold that more centered. Okay, there's our orange, dark blue. Realign the white corner. Orange, dark blue. Now we need dark blue, light blue. Okay. Complete our 3 dark blues up here. 2 over. Make sure we always have a piece we can break apart in the top. And move these, we can do this 2 at a time with the dark blues in. Just like that, dark blue, light blue. Realign the white corner centers. Dark blue, light blue. Now, I already forgot if we did a light blue green or not. I think that's probably the last one we have to do. So let's do light blue. Light blue, green. And we should just have 3 edges left. And let me try to bring those together if I can. It should be just those 3 purple edges. Let's just check. Bottom is all good. Back 2. Okay, so this should be our last 3 edges case now. You can see we have a ton of purple over here. So we need to have a purple red, a purple dark blue, and a purple green. Might as well build off this big purple block there. Let's do a purple green. So we'll set it up like this, where, sorry, that's not correct. Where'd that go? So we can break that piece apart in the top, and we have purple and green that we want to target. Bring those in. Realign properly, finish that purple green. Now this should be our last 2 edges. Okay, so now we know that we need to separate these purples because it's going to be a group of purple red and purple dark blue. So let's just bring that down, do the flipping algorithm, and return just to split up those purples. So now the inner 2 are solved, purple red and purple dark blue. Again, same sort of thing as on the 6x6, we're going to be targeting the back first. And we'll work our way out. So we'll do both of the inner 4 together and then the outer to complete the 6 across. So just working our way out as usual. So targeting this back one, this purple is correct, but this dark blue needs to be a red. And we want that motion to be diagonal like this. It's already set up properly. So we're going to bring down a right piece, or this whole group on the right side, to bring this red into place. So we're going to bring that group down, flip the front edge, and return that group carefully. So we have properly made a 4-layer across. So that's correct. And this also happened to be correct. If it wasn't, we'd have to swap some purple pieces. So now, same sort of thing. Let's try to target a purple to go here to start with. That's here. We have a purple edge right here. It might be hard to see in the light. I'm not sure. They kind of look similar to the blue, but so that purple needs to end up here. But it needs to get there in a diagonal path. So we need to put this purple here. So we're going to flip that edge normal on just the front. So the back is unaffected. But now this purple can move diagonally back to this position, which we have to move down on the left-handed. Flip. And return. So now we've successfully put that purple in place. Let's get a red here. Same sort of thing as before. we need to flip this group over so that the red can travel diagonally back. So let's flip this. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to do a right-handed move down so this red piece can move diagonally back to the right. Flip it, turn, and now we have solved this group. Of course, we still have to deal with this sort of case. Same sort of thing we saw on the 6x6. So basically what we need to do is replace this purple with another one of these purples to get this to solve properly. So to do that, we need to flip one of them. We can either flip this or this, but we'll do the front one because we want to bring this purple and exchange it with a purple on the front. But this is blue, so we need to flip this whole thing over so that the purple will be here, so it can be set up to move diagonally back to that position. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's flip that over. Just like that. This purple will move back to replace that one to make this solvable. So it's going to be a left-handed. Move that down, flip it, and return. And that will solve that case. So now we basically have a reduced to a 3x3 solve. And just quickly go through a simple 3x3 reduction. 3x3 solve now. Standard 3x3 Supercube, you can't just make a cross, you have to actually line it up with the center. And then we'll move our way down. We need a blue and white. Bring that down. Basic stuff like that. We need a light blue green, which is here. Flip it. Reorient the center. And green, yellow. We need to reorient that center. Bring it back. So there is our cross, our 4-color cross. And now we need to put in the corners, which do not have orientation, which is kind of interesting, right? So let's get that white out of there. The white up. We need a green and a yellow and a light blue. Okay, so there is our first layer. Moving on, standard beginner strategy stuff, just doing these edges separately. Probably could do some sort of easy F2L thing if you wanted to, but you can go ahead and figure that out for yourself. Put these edges in. Green, purple. Light blue, dark blue. Needs to go down this way. And that is our first 7 layers. Okay, so now onto the last layer, and I'll do a bunch of last layer example walkthroughs again, like on the 6x6 after this thing is complete. So let's look at edge orientation. Let's see what's flipped the right way. Blue and orange is out. Red and purple is out. Orange and red is out. Dark blue and purple is out. So basically this case is just the dot case. You know, on this 3/3 is just the center dot. So let's see if I didn't use the wrong pattern there. It's always so hard to identify this stuff when it looks so foreign. So that's in. Blue and orange is in. That one's in and in. Okay. So now we'll do our standard soon case, I guess that's what it's called. Okay, so that's good. Now we just need our corners. And I'll do our standard corner 3-cycle. And that's it, that's solved. So hopefully that wasn't too crazy to follow. If it was, don't worry about it because this is pretty brutal of a solve. It's not easy, especially recognition-wise. But yeah, that's how you do it. And I'll go through a bunch of last center and last edge and last layer examples now. Okay, so this is going to be another last center walkthrough. So this one is going to be the yellow, white, light blue, and green. So same as before, we're going to look at this middle 2x2 and see what we need to do with that. Let's put the green in its place in the bottom left. So the green is in, yellow is in, but the blue and white are both out. So we're going to hold it in this case and do a right-handed shuffle to get these to go in place. Okay, so green is in, yellow is in, white and blue are in. So that's going to be a reference now. Let's go out to the corners. So we have yellow and blue are in, but green and white are not in. So we need to kick one of those out. I'll go like this and kick that green one out up here with just a single 3-cycle. Okay, so now we have the corners in, out, out, out. So now we look across on the blue. This green needs to move down here. So that motion is going to be a left-handed 3-cycle, or sorry, a left-handed shuffle. And now you can see this X pattern, all of these 4 corners match the center. So now we'll move on to trying to complete this inner 4x4 with one of the wing groups here. So clockwise, it goes, this white is in, out, out, out. So we can hold that on the bottom, look across the group to this yellow from that white. The yellow needs to go down this way. So we can hold that motion on the top. This motion here is a right-handed shuffle. Okay, so checking the clockwise, we have in, 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 in. And counterclockwise, we're going to have a 2 in, 2 out. We can see how this green and blue half is completely done, and it looks like this white and yellow need to be swapped. So we can't just swap them, we need to swap them with another piece to do a 3-cycle. So let's kick out this yellow. We'll do a right-handed setup this way. We're targeting this white and this yellow. This yellow will move up to join these yellows. One of those yellows will move down here to be solved, and this white will move here to be solved. It'll be a right-handed 3-cycle, just a single 3-cycle. And that will look like this. And there is our inner 4x4 group. Okay, so now we are going to do the outer corners. And we can see that this green is in, the blue is in, but the white and yellow are not. So similar as before, we're going to kick out this white piece, which will move up to this white, and this yellow will move over, a single 3-cycle. So there we go, that is now solved. So now let's focus on the wings that are right next to the corners like we did before. We can see both of these white ones are in. Let's focus on, from this direction, the clockwise. So this one and this green piece, that same group there. So clockwise, it goes in, out, out, out. So this white is in. We look across to the yellow. The yellow needs to move down this way, so that motion needs to be on top. The yellow is going to replace that blue, and we'll do a right-handed shuffle. Okay, now we're going to look, see what that did. Going clockwise, we have in, in, in. So that solved that. Let's look at counterclockwise. This white one is also in. So counterclockwise, we have in, out, out, out. So moving directly across from this white is this blue, and that blue has to roll over this way, already properly on the top, flat. So it's going to be a left-handed shuffle to get that blue over here, using layers 2 and 1. So just like that. And we can see how all of those wings next to the outside corners are now solved. Looking a little bit more uniform and easy to recognize now. So moving on to, let's do these inner wings here, counterclockwise. So we have blues out, 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 out. And we'll start by doing a shuffle to move this yellow over to where this left green piece is there, using layers 3 and 1, left-handed shuffle. Okay, counterclockwise, we have in, out, out, in. So hold those down. Basically, we have another 2 in, 2 out, where this green and blue look like they need to be swapped. So we can either do left or right-handed to kick the green or blue out. Let's kick the green out up here. Left-handed, which will bring that blue in here to be solved. So a single 3 cycle using layers 3 and 1. There we go. And then pretty much the same case here for the last group. We have a 2 in, 2 out for the clockwise. So this green and white need to be switched basically. So we can kick this green out or the white, it doesn't really matter. We'll do the green up here. So the green will move up, and it's going to mess up this too, but that's okay. And then it'll present us with a regular case. We'll do a normal single 3 cycle. Okay, so that center is unaffected. And now we'll have a 1 in, 3 out, what it looks like. Let's see, counterclockwise, we have in, out, out, out. Look across the group from the in all the way here. The green needs to roll over this way. Yellow, the white's going to go up vertically on the left. It'd be a left-handed shuffle using 1 and 3. And that's how you solve that center. And I'll do maybe a couple more of those. Okay, so for another last center walkthrough, this one is going to be the yellow, red, orange, and white center. So same thing as before. Let's the white's already in the right place. Let's check the other ones. So white is in, yellow is in, red is in, and orange is in. Okay, so it's already done for us basically. Now let's work our way outwards. So we'll do the corners. White is in, and then this is out, out, in. So 2 in, 2 out. Let's kick this orange out, which will bring the red over. So we need to find an orange face. Single 3 cycle, kick the orange out to bring the red over, right-handed. Okay, so now our 4 corners are, actually, no, that didn't work. They're not in, so we need to do that again. The white and red are in, but the red, yellow and orange are switched. So I'm not sure why that didn't quite work, but let's try that again. Let's kick this orange out. Okay, so the white is now in, out, out, out. So a 1 in, 3 out. We look across from the white to the orange. Orange needs to move this way. A right-handed shuffle. Okay, there we go. So now we have this X pattern, white, yellow, red, orange, in the inner 4x4. Let's look at the inner 4x4 clockwise wings. This white is out, 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 out. They're all out. This yellow, are they all 2 away? I believe they are. So let's just do a shuffle to get this white over to the orange. We'll move it over that way. A shuffle using layer 2 and 3. Left-handed, obviously. Now let's check those clockwise again. Orange is in, out, out, out. So the orange is our target. We move across to the white. White needs to move to the left to join this white here. So same thing we just did, a left-handed shuffle. We'll bring that white over and hopefully solve the rest of them. So clockwise we have in. Counterclockwise we have this orange is out, 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 out. And it looks like they're both 2 away, 180 off from what they need to be. Let's try to move this white down to where the yellow is, just to kind of reset this. Shuffle move, kicking this yellow out. Okay, so counterclockwise. Now we have yellow is in. Yellow is in, out, out, out. So move across from the yellow. This white needs to move here. So it's going to be a right-handed shuffle again to kick that red piece up. Okay, so that solves our inner 4x4, 6x6 center. So now let's move on to the outermost center corners. So out, out, in, out. It's a standard 1 in 3 out. Across from the orange is white, which needs to move this way across. It'll be a left-handed shuffle to hopefully solve these. Okay, so that did it. All the corners are now in. Let's again look at these wings right next to the corners. And they are all out. And actually they're all 180 degrees off from each other, which is interesting. You can actually see all the other ones are already in. So it's kind of a more rare case that you'll see. Let's just start with a shuffle to get them closer to be 90 degrees off from what they need, where they need to go. We can start with one of the white ones here. Let's move that down to where the orange is with a shuffle, left-handed shuffle. Okay, so that white now, let's see, calling that clockwise would be out, out, in, out. So this orange is in. We look across to white. White needs to move over to the left to replace that red. It'll be a left-handed shuffle using 1 and 2. Okay, clockwise, in. Counterclockwise, they're both still 180 degrees off from all of each other. Let's move, how do I want to do this? We can move a shuffle to this white over to where the yellow is to be closer to where it needs to go. A right-handed shuffle using 1 and 2. Okay, so now the yellow is completely done. We have a standard 1 in, 3 out. Look across to the white. White needs to go over to the this way, to the right. So right-handed shuffle using 1 and 2 again. And that's how you solve the last center. Hopefully this is starting to kind of make a little bit more sense now. You're seeing the same sort of patterns over and over. And I think I'll do one more of those. Okay, so this will be the final last center walkthrough example. This is going to be white, orange, dark blue, and light blue. Let's put the light blue here, already is, and then this is out, and this is out. So a normal 1 in, 3 out, a shuffle moving this white over to the left, left-handed should solve this. Oops. So light blue is in, white is in, orange is in, dark blue is in. So now we'll move on to the inner corners. We have out, in, out, out. Dark blue's in, look across to light blue, needs to go down this way. This will be a 3 cycle left-handed to get that blue in. So now these corners are all solved. Let's look at clockwise. We have in, in. Those are all solved counterclockwise. Dark blue is out, in, out, out. So this counterclockwise blue, let's look across to white, needs to roll down this way. That's going to be a left-handed motion, kicking the blue up to the left. Left-handed cycle, left-handed shuffle, sorry, using this layer, 3 and 2. There's our inner 4x4. Now, it's actually a pretty easy case, this one. All of these wings next to the corners are done, and although, no, they're not. It just looked like it because they're just matching with the corners. So don't be tricked by that. Let's do the corners, I guess. So this is in, out, out, out. White needs to move this way, right-handed shuffle. So now the corners are in. Let's start with these 2 oranges are in. So doing clockwise, this orange is in, blue is out, out, out. So moving across, this white needs to go this way. White will replace this dark blue. It'll be a right-handed shuffle using 2 and 1. Okay, so clockwise, in. Now counterclockwise, we have oranges again, in, out, out, out. So across, this white needs to go here, that motion on the top. This white will go over and replace that dark blue. Right-handed shuffle using 1 and 2. All right, so those are all done. Now let's look at these inner wings. I see this blue is in. Going counterclockwise, we have in, out, out, out. Look across the blue as the orange needs to go over this way. That's a right-handed shuffle using 1 and 3. Okay, counterclockwise, in. Clockwise, out, 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 out. Let's move, and they're all 180 off, so let's move this blue down here. That'll be a left-handed just to get it closer. 90 degrees away, so this will be a left-handed shuffle using 1 and 3. Ooh. Okay. Now, this blue is in, going counterclockwise, out, in, out, out. This blue needs to move down here. Same sort of left-handed shuffle using 1 and 3. And that's how you do it. Okay, so for our last 2 edges walkthrough, first we need to separate these purples because we're going to have a purple red and a purple green. So let's just split it down the middle like this and do the flipping algorithm just to separate those 2. Just like that. So the purple is now separated. So we have a purple green and a purple red. And let's try to get a purple to go where this red is right there. So that will be this piece to move diagonally to the right. So we're going to move that group down on the right to try to match up that purple there. Okay, now we want to try to get a red to go here. It needs to move diagonally. So we're going to flip this one over first. So that this red can move diagonally back to the left to match up with this red here. So we're going to bring that down on the left side. Now we have the middle red, red, purple, purple. Now let's try to get the middle 4 here to work. So we're actually going to hold that on the back to target it. And we're going to replace this purple with one of the purples there. We need to replace, let's try to get a purple to go here. So that green is going to swap, actually no, we need to replace this purple first. So to do that, let's flip this front edge. So that we can replace this purple with that one. Actually, let me think. Is that how we want to do this? What I actually want to do is the opposite. I want to replace this purple with this one. So it's going to be on the left-handed, and it's going to swap those 2. So that one's the same, and now we have completed the first front 4. This one is all solved, and this one is not. So how we're going to do this is pretty much the same thing, just on the outer layer now. Is the common color is purple, so we need to replace this with one of these. And to do that, let's swap this side over. Okay, so now we're going to target this purple and this purple. We want this to move back and swap with that one. So this will remain looking the same way it does. So it'll be a left-handed one. And that will solve the last 2 edges. Okay, so for another last 2 edges, this is going to be white and light blue and white and yellow. So the whites are already split apart, which is good. Let's focus on this back one here. The white is good on this side. We need a blue to go here. So let's flip this front edge over so the blue can be on the left. Now we're going to use a right-handed one to bring this blue back to the back right diagonally, like that. So there's those 4 in a row, and these 4 are also solved. Now let's try to bring this blue back to this side. It's already set up for right-handed. Just like that. And now we have this kind of case where these 2 look like they're swapped. So to do this, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's first get a yellow to go here. So let's flip this over. right-handed to get the yellow to move back here. Okay, now we just need to replace a white for this one, so we need to swap this whole group over again. Now a left-handed to get this white to move back to the left to replace this white. And that will solve those last edges. Okay, so this will be the final last two edges grouping. Let's try to separate these oranges, because it'll be orange white and orange red. Okay, now those oranges are separated and this back one is completely done. So let's try to swap this orange over with one here to kind of free this up and try to keep this looking the same. So this orange will be replaced by that one. It'll be a right-handed moving this down. Just like that to solve the middle four. Now let's try to get one of these in. Let's try to get an orange to go here. So I'll flip this over. Now bring this down on the right to move the orange back to this side. Now let's try to get a red to go here. Bring that down on the left and that will move diagonally back. And that's how you solve it. Okay, so moving on to some last layer examples. First I'll check the edge orientation. So this one is in, blue and orange is out, red and purple is out, purple and dark blue is in. So we have a big L case like this. Hopefully that did it. So across, and then these two are also good. And we have a pop. And let's see what I was doing there. Okay, so all the edges are now in. Let's look at the corners now. Try to cycle those around. And one more. Okay, so we ran into this case on the 6x6, I think twice actually. So everything else is done, except we have a 90-degree center rotation, which can happen on these puzzles with the parity of false equivocation. Okay, so to solve this 90-degree rotation case, we want to switch out one of these with an adjacent side. So if we did it for this red one here, we want to bring this red one up with a single 3-cycle, not a shuffle yet. Let's do a U2 and set that up this way, so this red will go and replace this one here. Let's try that. And only turning these inner layers so we don't mess up the outside. Okay, now let's put that one back. So that was not messed up at all. Now we look to see what we have here. We have a 1 in and 3 out. So this is going to be a standard shuffle move now. We have this one in, look across to purple. Purple needs to roll over left to be solved. So we're going to hold it this way. Hold it this way and do a left-handed shuffle. And that should solve the rest of this. Just like that. Okay, so for another last layer example, everything else is good. So first we'll check out our edge orientation. Green and yellow is in, blue and green is not in, white and yellow is in, blue and white is not in. So we have a bar here. And we have, this is in, Okay. So it looks like they're all in now. And so that's our last layer cross there. Don't pay attention to the center too much right now. Let's focus on the corners first and try to move those around. So we have 2 corners that are in and 2 that are not in. So we're going to use that 2 little r algorithm to help solve this case here. So that goes like this. Okay, let's see what that did. So our edges are back to normal. Let's 3-cycle these remaining corners. And the corners are in. We just need to do an easy 180-degree center rotation. And that's it. Okay, this will be the final last layer case. So we'll check our edge orientation here. Oops. So white and orange is in. Red and yellow is not in. It's in, out. Orange and red is in and out. So this is basically a bar case. Let's check to see if that fixed it. This is in, 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 in. Okay. Okay, so that fixed the edges. And now all we have to do is, the corners are already in, so it's just a 180-degree center rotation again. And that will solve it. So I think that's about it for this walkthrough tutorial. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I highly recommend stickering a puzzle up like this. I know you probably can't just buy them like this, but it's a really easy sticker mod to do, and makes the 8x8 way harder. So yeah, feel free to try this out if you want to, and then hopefully the tutorial will be useful. And yeah, I have a bunch of other videos that I'll be releasing fairly soon, some other crazy puzzle mods that I've been working on, so keep an eye out for that stuff, and thanks for watching.